Now, I'm sure across the case of last night, you would have seen Hand of Arsenal and David Ornstein release some exclusive news. Trilosis, forgive me if I'm wrong, and I've actually got his name wrong in the title, people, has been linked to Arsenal, described as a market opportunity. We're being linked with a bunch of players, and it's the calm before the storm, man. You know what Andrea Berta is going to do. You know he's going to get things sorted. So I can't lie, man. You know, you're looking at this lad that we're signing from Club Brugge. It's described as a market opportunity. It looks like a market opportunity. I am going to release a tactical vid, but the first thing I got just from looking at him is it just seems like the new Trossard, if that makes complete sense to you. It literally just seems like the new Trossard, seems like the next Trossard. I mean, he's 23, 24 years of age, looks relatively ball-footed. Again, provided that's not the only signing. And it is worth remembering as well, Arsenal fans, yeah. Remember last summer at the start, we only signed Noni Madueke. We had a lot to say, but apparently it doesn't affect Morgan Rogers in any way, shape, or form. We've been linked with a bunch of other players, even Nico Paz, and I'm all for it, man. If you could get this Trinosis guy and Morgan Rogers, I'm kind of cool. Get me a centre mid, get me a fullback. I think I speak for everyone where I say we're all on that. So yeah, smash the like button. Happy Saturday and all those things. We're going to go into all of that stuff in just a moment, people. For those that are watching it on a rerun, big up yourselves. I will bring out a cut-up clip. So yeah, man, let's get on. I'm having a bit of technical difficulties as well, man. StreamYard is what would be the word? I don't know. Freezing is the word I'm looking for. Big up yourself, Nuances. Mo Arsenal, appreciate you as well. Or better yet, yeah, Mo Arsenal, man. Smash the lights, get your top shelf read. We got transferred to talk. 100%, man. And you know what? Why waste time? Let's do exactly that, man. That's what I'm feeling like. As I said, technical difficulties. So I think technically this has frozen now. This is annoying. Share screen immediately. And let's look at what's going on. Now, as I said, people, over last night, and off topic, did you not watch Paraguay versus USA? Shout out to Balogun. But you would have seen last night, yeah, a series of tweets. And I always say, if it's not Romano, David Ornstein, Hand of Arsenal, I'm more than willing to speak about these things. But speaking is as far as it goes. Arsenal exploring a deal to sign Christos Trilosis, 24, from Club Brugge. Sources believe a deal could be possible for around 34.5 million. It's not going to break the bank. He's 24 years of age. Obviously, he was highly rated in Greece as well. And you look at when he signed for Norwich, and obviously when he left these shores, he's coming back a significantly better player. He's made a name for himself at Club Brugge primarily. Obviously, he's doing his thing. I like his technical level. He reminds me of Trossard in that in the box, he gets those instinctive finishes, seems a good finisher, decent dribbler, seems fairly versatile. He's played in the Champions League. Like, he's actually had decent performances, ironically, against us, against Barcelona, a couple of years ago, I'm sure, against Manchester City, or I could be wrong on that. So, yeah, he's got a certain level of pedigree. He's got scope to grow. And I mean, end of the day, if you sign him and we've done our scouts, I always say scouts do your job, innit? If he signs for us and he gives us something, why not? Again, respectfully to Noni Madueke, Martinelli, and quote-unquote Trossard, I'm being a bit harsh, we kind of know what we're getting, so I don't mind something different. So the age profile, the price tag, it's a yes from me, if I'm completely honest with you. So, yeah, I know nothing about this guy. We're going to get to know him, man. We're going to go over this, my boy. Scouting videos are coming out and things of that ilk. He's been at Club Brugge. Statistically, look at his numbers, yeah. He's actually done all right over there. Like, if I bring it up on the Jumbotron, last season, 52 appearances, 22 goals, and 29 assists. Obviously, that breaks down to in the league. I'm just going to focus on the league and the champs. In the qualifiers of the Champions League, he got 4 assists and a goal. In the official competition, he got 1 assist and 2 goals in 9 appearances. In the Belgium League, he got 13 assists and 9 goals. And in the Champions playoff in Belgium, whatever that means, he got 8 goals, 10 assists in 10 appearances. So that leaves him with 29 assists, 22 goals, and 52 games, people. So while we don't know if Club Brugge or what you're doing in Belgium is going to correlate to the Prem, numbers-wise, you get numbers. 108 appearances for Club Brugge, 43 appearances, 45 goals. As I said, he came through at Pacau. He's been in Germany at Dusseldorf as well. Norwich is where I remember him from, and I remember he was quite decent technically. By no means was he a standout, but as I said, the player he was when he signed for them at probably 19, was there for a couple of years and left his shore, and the one coming back is a different thing. And I always think when you have that level of experience, good and bad, you're coming back fairly more rounded. As I said, yeah, for me, I just get the vibe, even by just looking at him at YouTube, bro. It's just it's baby Trossard. Now, Martinelli or Trossard could leave, but it just tells me, you know what, Trossard's gone. And to be fair with you, yeah, We know we need to bring players in. We need Berta to get on his grind, but we need to get players gone. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with the players that go, but if you do get a decent FIFA Trossard or Martinelli, and obviously you move on Jesus, the resources, this signing kind of pays for itself. It don't break the bill, break the wages. Now, obviously, look in the Champions League this season. He obviously scored against Atalanta. He got an assist against Barcelona in that 3-3 draw. I remember him having an effort that our keeper Raya had to save at Club Brugge. That game's remembered from the screamers from Martinelli and more so Noni Madueke. But ironically, he played against us. And I always think that, like he played against us and we didn't know we was going to sign him at the time. Obviously, at the Emirates Cup last season, we played against Hincapié. We didn't know we were going to sign him at the time. So I'm all for it, man. I mean, he's got to be better than Noni, respectfully. He's got to be better than Noni. I kind of know what I get with Martinelli and Trossard. I'm sure you lot do as well. So I don't mind something a bit new. Got an assist against Sweden, where obviously he crossed paths with Gyökeres. And then you obviously break down the statistics. Like, seems ever present as well. Like, again, there's two things. Obviously, the numbers. That's not guaranteed to correlate to Premier League, but you 52 appearances. That shows me you're durable. 22 goals, 29 assists. There's something there in the lad, people. So yeah, he's got a decent career path, and it's kind of on brand with what we're saying. Technically, looks like he's a sharp finisher and things. Like, even just looking on Opta, people. You look at all the goals he's bagged in that division. I don't know why it's changed slightly, but in the first division, 36 appearances, 17 goals, 23 assists, allegedly. And you look at his XG map, again, shows can you not see? I think you can. Outside the area, he'll get shots away. Inside the area, seems a very decent finisher inside the 6-yard box, which you can, at Arsenal, we can never have too much of that. So I'm all for it, if I'm completely honest. So yeah, 34.4 million. If you were to get 20 odd, because for Fabio Vieira, because he's linked with Nottingham Forest, either Trossard or Martinelli, you'd imagine we're going to get more than 34.5 million, more so for Martinelli, probably around that kind of FIFA Trossard. It kind of pays for itself without breaking the bank, people. So yeah, what are we saying immediately? Reports in his homeland of Greece are saying Christos Tolis has already spoken to Mikel Arteta and is eager to join Arsenal, with discussions progressing well. As things stand, it's very likely the deal will happen. And I think he spoke about his future and said he wants to test himself in the top league. Now, he can see what Arsenal's doing. It makes sense with the age profile. It probably makes sense because he's probably looking and thinking, I might believe I'm better or not better than Trossard or Martinelli, but their days are numbered. Martinelli's numbered. We played 50, 60 games. There's football there. I can grow with the squad. I think it just makes sense for all parties involved, people. And he has been linked with a number of clubs. Now, courtesy of a paywall, the Athletic have spoken about him. We're going to get over that, but this is all inclusive. Smash the like button if you haven't. Smash the like button. Let's go. Neil, one love. Again, Neil, appreciate you. South London, appreciate you. Jingle, we saying appreciate you. I like his career path. Got to move to England too early. Agree and disagree. Did get it too early, but 19 years of age, Norwich were trying to do the smart kind of signings. Got to move to England too early. Took some time to develop, but he's smashing it in Belgium. He can at least contribute at a high level. Might be a late bloomer like Trossard. I'm all for that. And to be honest, again, when you go on YouTube and you pre him, he looks something to be, I use the word excited subjectively. Obviously, it's not like signing a Julian Alvarez or Morgan Rogers or whatever have you, but in terms of competency, confidence, and consistency, piggybacking off what you said with his career path and everything I probably just waffled about in the opening exchanges, I'm all kind of for it. And of course, as an armchair expert, I want to hear Morgan Rogers, this thing, that thing, breaking the bank. We just won the Premier League, all of that kind of stuff. But we always say on this channel, we've got two options. You know, do you go, and I'm not saying the two don't go hand in hand, but we know the dynamics. Scouts either do your job, which again, as somebody said, he's left Norwich, he's gone Germany, he's obviously been at Belgium, he's someone that, granted, none of us were saying to sign, but the analytical department have done their job. He's got Champions League experience, he's a key member for Club Brugge, technically looks sweet. So if we're gonna scout players and find the market opportunities and find these guys where, you know, in hindsight, when we sign him, he might go off to be a great player, great. We know the dynamics. You either sign these guys, these smart signings, before he goes somewhere else, if that is the case, and shells it down, or you put down the 100-odd million for generally the Kvaratskhelia, the Morgan Rogers, the quote-unquote household names. And crucially, like you said, a late bloomer. I mean, he's 24. You know, we always take heed from what Wenger said at 23, 24. This is now where you're becoming a professional footballer. So he's had good moments. He's had bad moments. He's coped with pressure of being a wonder kid in Belgium, in Greece. He's obviously a star man for Belgium at Club Brugge. Obviously, that's very different from playing in the Premier League, but there's that degree of pressure. He's obviously an international footballer. So yeah, man, it just makes sense. It just absolutely makes sense. Gotts would have been perfect for that second left wing spot, but hey, I already watched the comps. But as a low risk market opportunity, I'll buy. Cal, pick up yourself. You said it there, like you lot are spot on. Low risk market opportunity, competencies, consistencies, confidence, the three C's. It makes sense. And what makes it cool with me is it makes me feel a lot more confident about Morgan Rogers because I'm a hypocrite. I want Morgan Rogers. I've said when we've been linked with Liao and Nico Williams and this one and that one, I'm not that I won't have them, and they've got pros and cons. But for me, none of them 100% convinced me to the point where I did want a Morgan Rogers, but I'm a hypocrite because he can play out wide. That seems like the free spot. Is he an out-and-out left winger? Probably not. So if you've got the option of a Morgan Rogers, if that is to be the case, and you've got my man who I'm sure can deputise on the left and the right, great. Shows an ability to use his left peg, to use both feet as well. Not quite to the Trossard standard, but yeah. And he's had some European experience as well. So yeah, it makes sense. Looks like a fast Trossard. And that's why I think, is Trossard the one that's moved on then? And Martinelli might survive for another year because maybe I'm being biased to the optics, but he does appear more Trossard-y than Martinelli. Simply put, you trade in your older model of Trossard and you get your younger model. Again, I don't think like with Trossard and Martinelli, I don't think you could be 100% in the camp of Trossard needs to go before Martinelli or vice versa. There's a reality where, let's be honest, both are probably past their sell-by date. I'm probably in the minority where I wouldn't advocate both of them leaving. I think it's one out this summer. Obviously, the one that stays, if you shell it down, you've bought yourself extra time at Arsenal, but next summer you'll probably be phased out. I'm inclined to believe it's Trossard purely because I use the term more market subjectively because you could argue Martinelli being younger, whatever we think about Martinelli, and links are just links, but he seems to be linked with the decent amount of clubs in Europe, and I don't think Arsenal are in a position to ask for something astronomical for Martinelli. Yes, we're seeing what's going on at other clubs, whether they're good or not, and seeing the money they're getting. Someone could sit here and say, how did Newcastle get 80 million for Anthony Gordon? Even Newcastle fans I speak to, whether it's English tax or whatever, are shocked. So you could argue, yo, maybe we can get some peas. But we got Martinelli for 6 million on big wages. What we realistically might be a 40 or 50. So there might be market for him. He's obviously on significantly more wages. I do think tactically Martinelli is probably more Arteta's player because we've accepted Martinelli for years. He'll obviously drop back. I do think Trossard's had to fight for minutes at Arsenal. Like this season, he's been the first choice left winger, but there's been times he's been in and out of the squad. Because of the stylistics and the optics, I do think it's more Trossard. And then you look at Trossard's market, he might think, a Morgan Rogers who can play left wing, this youth comes in, I'm not really going to get football, even though I'm at Arsenal. I've shown I can fight for my place. I've got a year left on my deal. I'm 31. So if there's a club that gives me a 2-3 year deal, you know, he's been linked with teams in Turkey. He can get paid, teams in Italy, teams in the Prem. He might be sold on the project to be a more key player, to get more wages. At this point in time, more financial security. And Trossard's probably going to be available, you know, a lot cheaper. He's got a year left on his deal. I don't know if there's an option. So there's a decision to make for Arsenal. So it'll be quite interesting. Smash the likes if you haven't. He kind of looks meh, but I've never watched him apart from the game we played against them. Do I think he's a level raiser? No, but I think it's more of a floor raiser. I'm all for it, man. I can't lie. He's 20. You look at him, he's 24. Nonny's the same age. Obviously, you want to see us get a Morgan Rogers and get higher caliber talent. You get Saka. Kind of piggybacking off what we've got collectively at a squad. Our players are of that sweet little, generally the 24, 25 onwards, that kind of the medium of our team. They're in that kind of rage bracket. Of course, you've got Max Dowman. Of course, you've got a Trossard, who's one of the more older players. You would actually maybe even say Magalhaes is creeping towards that. It makes sense, man, because if this guy goes somewhere else, I'm not saying he's going to get 1 million goals, 1 million assists, but if he was to go to a Bournemouth or a Brentford or something of that, do half decent. I'm not saying we'd all be waxing lyrical about signing him, but we'd all think, oh, how did they grab him? Where did they find him type of thing? So, yeah, Paraguay had USA looking like 2004 Brazil. I think you mean 02, but I hear it, man. Martinelli getting sold if we was to get Rogers only, but Rogers and another is guaranteed. Might be the case for someone in the 10. I think they might keep Martinelli because of their legs. Like, we all accept Martinelli for what Martinelli is. I've given up on playing up front, of the penny dropping of goals and assists. I just accept him for what he is. You're weird because you've got the ability to get goals and have clutch moments, but I accept you're just a tool in the toolbox. We might use you to run in behind. We might use you defensively, even though you're a winger. That's the one thing I think might keep Martinelli, because this guy, I wouldn't say he's slow. He's got the burners, but it doesn't look like he's one of them rapid demons. The one thing Martinelli has, Noni's got as well, to be fair, is you're one of the only attackers we got that can run in behind. Like you're like a Duracell battery type of thing. So it'd be interesting. But yeah, David Ornstein on Tzolis, who has 43 goals across 2 seasons in Belgium at Club Brugge. Arsenal exploring a deal to sign winger Christos Tzolis from Club Brugge. And you know what? As a North Londoner, Green Lanes, you got Turkish and Greek people there. The Greeks are probably going mad. We finally got another one type of thing. Sources believe a deal for the 24-year-old could be possible for around 40 million euros, which equates to 34.5 million pounds or $46.3 million if you're in America. And crucially, now again, this is what excites me the most. A move for Tzolis would not impact Arsenal's interest in recruiting Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers or an alternative target as work continues to strengthen the attack. And I don't want to be that guy yet, but Morgan Rogers, what are we saying? That's 90 million quid. Realistically, probably 100. Let's say 134 million if you're going to bring my man in. Now, obviously, I don't want to be that guy, but looking at the club, they might say, if you can get us what's been linked with 15 million plus, to even up to 20 for Fabio Vieira. I don't want to be that guy. Wanyeri, that might be 50 odd. You can see how we're offsetting the cost already, people. So it'd be interesting. And we would need to get rid of attackers because for the vast majority, throughout the squad, people are going to pick up injuries, but there's only X amount of names that can be on that bench. So I struggle to see a world where you've got Trossard and Martinelli still at the club. Tzolis has signed for Arsenal. And then you've got Max Dowman, Wanyeri, Noni Madueke, Bakayo Saka, Eze, Kai Havertz, Gyökeres, Marino, all of these guys that Odegaard, that attackers, they can't all be in the matchday squad type of thing. So, yeah. Tzolis' Club Brugge contract runs until June 2029 after he signed fresh terms in July of 2025, shortly before Crystal Palace made an offer to sign him. The 32-time Greece international has 43 goals for Club Brugge across 2 seasons, having found the net 23 times for Fortuna Dusseldorf in, I believe, the second division in Bundesliga. So hasn't come easy for him. Was seen as a bit of a wonder kid in Greece. Went Norwich, who Norwich obviously were fighting relegation them times. Didn't really happen for him. He's gone Germany, playing in the second division. Made a proper name for himself, I would say, in terms of enticing scouts to make a move for him in Club Brugge. So it goes back to what Jinga in the comments said, the career trajectory, late bloomer. We say late bloomer, though, but when you're bought at 19 and you've had about 5 years and now you're 23, 24, in many ways you are a veteran, but in many ways, I wouldn't say you're a baby, but your career has kind of just started. So I think you made a good point. Asked by Belgium outlet, no chance I can pronounce that, my people, man. Nosebold, a Belgium newspaper last month, what sort of team could convince him to leave Club Brugge? He replied, it will have to be a Champions League team from England, Germany, Spain, or Italy. Or, well, if PSG comes knocking, I'll probably go too, right? And obviously that was a bit of a joke. Then I'll say I love France, but only PSG is a better option in France than Club Brugge. There might be a few more possibilities in the Prem. Obviously, as time has moved on, the possibilities in the Prem could have been other clubs. Arsenal have come calling, and he's elected to do that. I can't lie, people, you're violating. To the 30 of you that have hit the like button, we've got 100 odd in the chat, people. You're taking the piss. What's all this about? What's all this about? Tzolis started his career at hometown club Pacau before joining Norwich City in 2021. He made 14 appearances for the Premier League club in his debut season, but did not become a regular at Carrow Road and joined FC 20 on loan the following campaign before later moving to Dusseldorf. So he's obviously played in Greece. Technically, he's played in England and will play in England again. He's played in Germany and he's played in Holland. Good or bad moments, that shows adaptability. You've played in different leagues. You've got that experience. So that is probably more of a plus point that we can get a tune out of this. The Athletic reported this week on Arsenal's search for a new left winger. The club made an inquiry about Juventus's 21-year-old Turkish international Kenan Yildiz. In Berta, we trust, by the way. They were informed in no uncertain terms that Yildiz was not for sale and are consequently pursuing other options. Arsenal ended their 22-year wait for a Premier League. Less about the Champions League. James McNicholas has said Arsenal aim to refresh attacking options. True, because we need to refresh. And I can't lie, Arteta, there's evolution that needs to go in attack as well. Because it's not just sign new players and it's great. That is a big part. I do think there's 3 things. Personally, I think we've got to, as it says there, refresh the attack. Arteta's probably got to evolve the attack a bit more and get our players, get a system that generates more chances and whatnot. And also, it's not that the players don't take responsibility, but if we're going to be a team that wins the Premier League and gets to the latter stages of the Champions League, think about when you've seen us win league titles. Even this current crop, our attackers haven't showed that consistency, but they've had moments. the Invincibles, the Chelsea sides, the Liverpool sides, the City sides, the Man United sides, whether it's in Europe or in the Prem, there's times where the players take responsibility. People do moments of magic. We've seen that. Typically at City in the tail end of a Premier League running as well. So yeah, let's have it right. If you were to go through our squad, the one ethos that we're top at, would all agree is defensively, in it. Not just our defenders, how we press, the shape, all that kind of jazz. If you were to break down, like if you imagine all our players on the pitch and you were to break down the attacking ranks, the defensive ranks, and the midfield ranks, the defense, you lot A plus. We rate all of you lot. The only thing we can say is around injuries. Saliba, love him. Gabriel, love him. Timber, White, if they stay fit, I'm not waffling about a right back. Hincapié, Calafiori do pick up injuries. We're cool over there. Big up Raya. Kepa, come on. If you stay, it is what it is. We need another number 2. And you could throw Miles Lewis Skelly propaganda, but you could throw Lewis Skelly into that. Where it gets to midfield, it's a bit more mixed, but we're still convinced. We like Zubi. Okay, second half of the season, it weren't quite there. I want another midfielder or 2, but rate Zubi, rate Lewis Skelly heavily, rate Declan Rice ridiculously. Eze, we know you've got the ability. Odegaard, people are on you, but it's not. We don't feel the confidence to the way we do in defense, but it's calm there. Marino and Kai, throughout a course of a season, we might have to be a bit cute and clever and play you in midfield from time to time. Could be upgraded, could nitpick a bit, but our defense, A-star. I would say midfield for me is a high C, maybe a low B. It's probably a D pause in attacking it, because we've got a mixture there. Some of it is like Gyökeres. I like him when you accept him for what he is. We know he's not a 38-game man, but you know, he scores the goals, mentality monster, horses for courses type of guy. You know, if the tactics could evolve, there's a lot more tap-ins for him in it. Gyökeres, cool. Eze is just more about consistency. We know the quality's there. You ended the season strong. Yes, I know he missed a penalty, but we're cool with that. Noni Madueke, I actually like you, but I genuinely feel you are the Lionel Messi. You are, because if Bacola's the Lionel Messi of Madueke's, you're the Cristiano Ronaldo of Madueke's. Like, Madueke is one of those players, because I see them all the time. You're going to play like this for your career, where you're going to have good or bad moments and up and down and whatnot, or you're going to go up the gears. And what I mean by that is the potential is realized, the decision making, because there's a lot to like about Noni, but we're not really convinced. If you're looking at numbers now, for being a team that wants to get a Champions League over the line, not just be a flash in the pan and Premier League, we need to know what we're getting beyond the obvious from our attackers. As I said yesterday, you go through our attacking rank share with the players. So if I just say names, Martinelli, Trossard, Noni Madueke, Bukayo Saka, Eze, Gyökeres, Kai. Some of it's more form, some of it is preference. Some of the players, admittedly, are not probably good enough, but isolate them all individually quickly, people. None of them, you would say, are terrible footballers. The problem is, when you add them together and you look at that whole attacking unit, we can't rely on them. It doesn't shock us, and it does shock us, or it doesn't surprise us, and it does surprise us if we see strong periods of form from Trossard, from Martinelli, all of these kind of guys. All of our attackers, big them up, because everyone played their part in getting us to a League Cup final, a Champions League final, and winning the Prem. And they've all had their moments, but none showed the level of consistency. Where you look at our defense, they showed the level of consistency and probably had their moments. But Eze didn't do it for the majority of the season. Whether it's his fault or not, he had his moments. North London derby, setting up Martinelli against City. Martinelli's had his moments, not done it for the majority. Admittedly, Trossard's one of our better performers. He started this season great. Since the turn of the year, kind of went off the boil and then kept going in it. There was a period he didn't score for 20-odd games. You look at the return of him and Martinelli, it's not good enough. But none of them showed that level of consistency. Saka is a form thing. We need you just to be fit. Everything takes care of itself. I would say for me, the Kais, sorry, not the Kais, the Gyökereses, the Sakas, the Ezes, it's more consistency. And I'm excluding Max Dowman. He's a baller, but he's 16. We're rating him in it. So that's where I'm on refreshing all of this, people. Arsenal have targeted the left wing as an area to strengthen this summer. There's a question mark over the long-term futures of Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli, whose contracts are both currently due to expire in 2027. While Arsenal still have other attacking targets in their sights, which, again, bit on what he said about Morgan Rogers, I'm all for that. A move for Tzolis would appear to be in part an attempt to refresh Arteta's attacking options. The Greece international has already earned Champions League experience, including playing the full match in Club Brugge's 3-goal defeat against Arsenal in December 2025. An output merchant Arteta will crave. Bro, output merchant. I'm on that. If you can get me, I say this subjectively, obviously I want more. If you can get me 10 goals, 10 assists, all comps type of thing or more, if you're getting numbers, Saka's getting numbers, Rodgers is getting numbers, Bro, goals win games, innit? We've shown defense wins titles. It's an age-old tale, and we've done it. I did feel in that Champions League final that our tactics worked beyond the obvious. I'm not going to go over it again. But the rhetoric of goals win games, individual brilliance, players with a bit of magic, someone that can make something out of nothing, whether they're, world-class players or top-class players, we need that now, innit? That is a big part as to how we're going to evolve. It's little, and I don't want to run man into the ground. It's little surprise that Europe's elite sides have been alerted to Tzolis' talent after the season he's had. A return of 17 goals and 23 in brackets. Yes, 23 assists for Club Brugge. Obviously, there's going to be an exchange rate. You're not going to get that for Arsenal in the Premier League. Put him far above any of his peers in the Belgian Pro League last season. I mean, if we're going to shop in the Belgian Pro League, I want the midfielder from Anderlecht, Nathan de Cat, as a long-term six. But that's another story in itself. With an attacking output that looks poised for next level as he enters peak years. Tzolis has primarily operated on the left flank in Belgium, but like any good forward, he possesses the ability to play across the front line as a diminutive right-footed winger. Fair play. Arteta does like, a left footer on the right-hand side, a right footer on the left-hand side. So, yeah, this would probably be, if you sign Morgan Rogers, this would be the kind of 1v1 demon traditional winger that accompanies him. I'm kind of cool with that, especially if we could save a bit of money, offset that with some spending. I'm not going to let you lot forget people. We need to do something in midfield, if I'm completely honest. The Greek is not simply a dribble merchant who drops a shoulder at the first opportunity. Instead, there's an efficiency in the way he operates, often looking to make the best decision for the team when committing his opponent. So it seems like you've got good decision-making, ability to score goals, ability to come alive in the 6-yard box, someone that is a thinker's man's footballer, versatile. It makes sense, and it's not going to break the bank. Do that then, innit? Because let's have it right. Like, obviously, I'm not no expert on this guy, but to us normal football fans, half of the guys we're linked with, we can't unanimously agree with it. So you might as well, scouts, do your job. Why not? So, yeah. Or indeed release a shot and setting up a teammate. Well, I mean, if you're playing for one of the biggest clubs in Belgium, a Greek international, so an international footballer, and a 23-24, as silly as it sounds, you should have a lot of what he said there in that paragraph. That should be the case with any player, no? Arsenal are able to delve into the market from a position of strength, but the left side of attack was arguably one of the Premier League champions' weakest areas last season. Neither Martinelli nor Trossard provided prolific attacking numbers, but Tzolis' profile could be an output merchant that Arteta would crave. So what are we saying to that, people? Hand of Arsenal has said Arsenal are in direct contact with Club Brugge to sign Christos Tolis. As I reported earlier, player is very keen, but the fee will be key. Data team at Arsenal highly impressed for a while with the Greek winger. Market opportunity, which won't affect Target or Monga deal. Blood. I'm on that. He's 24, Monga 16, 17, Rogers. Berta's been doing what he needs to do. Josh Kroenke's doing what he needs to do. The players are doing what they need to do and winning us stuff. Arteta new contract and he's a genius governing. This is what we fucking moved to the Emirates for, man. I can't lie, it's scared. I don't know why this is gassing me. I'm just being calm this summer. I think I learned a lot last summer because we were going mad when Eze was looking like he's going Spurs. Sporting were doing the most with Gyökeres. Noni Madueke was the one through the door. So, yeah, man, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about what we do this season. Tzolis can't be a starter. We need a real starter to help contribute more goals. I mean, if he earns the right, great. I do think bigger names will accompany him. But if you come here, I don't know, it doesn't correlate. But if you do what you've done at Club Brugge and you play for Arsenal, and the left wing's yours, isn't it? And that goes for all players. Football, all about timing. This time he'll be more prepared. Facts, Neil. Exactly. Very underrated aspect. I feel Endrick is the final piece. Am I the only one? We'd love Endrick, but Real Madrid ain't letting him go. Wasn't that impressed by his comps, but he could be a smart deal, and apparently it won't affect a Rodgers deal. I like a winger that's used to scoring goals. We need one. Club Brugge have good players. We need to stop underestimating unknowns to us. 100%. They're never going to be the shirt sellers. It's not sexy, innit? People have to go on YouTube. It's an element of who's that, but we need the right players. Because at the end of the day, if he signs for us and he shells it down, great. I'm not saying he's going to be that, but I very much doubt Liverpool fans, and I'm definitely not suggesting this for a second, but I very much doubt when Liverpool signed Mo Salah, like at the point of they signed him from Roma or in Italy, wherever he was. Yeah, people would say nobody was waxing lyrical about him. It was probably Chelsea flop. Why are you signing him? Look what he went on to do. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that. My point is, you have to give people a chance. Like, of course, we want name brands, but we need the right players. If that's household names that we see week in, week out on the TV, or people like this, I always say, scouts do your job. So if scouts have done their job, that's enough for me. Everybody gets a chance. Is he going to be the biggest shirt seller? No, but it's not where you start, it's how you finish. And to be honest with you, based on YouTube comments alone, and obviously we've obviously all seen him play, but no one's looked at him under the eye. But if I remember the Club Brugge game, I'm sure he had an effort that forced a good save from Raya. It's bad, man, but you got to be better than what we've got. And I know that's not even the right rhetoric and logic to go on, but you got to be. So if you could bring Monga as a long-term option, and him, I'm all for it, and Morgan Rogers. And this is where, going back to the Jeremy Monga stuff, as a selfish Arsenal fan, I want him at the door, him in the door, him, Max Dowman, the conglomerate that we have of English players, it could be great. But where's his football coming from? Because yes, we're playing 60 games, but where's his football coming? Where's Monga's football coming from this season? Because, you know, he's playing week in, week out, essentially in the Championship. For me, if he wants to, listen, if Arsenal want to bring him through the door and he's training with the first team, occasional start cup games, great. But how many 16 at the times will be now 17 in July? Players are playing week out in the Championship or League One. Now, Leicester need the money, so we can do that. You know he's a long-term option. I wouldn't be against Monga staying at Leicester in league, getting a season with League One at League One under his belt, if I'm honest, because the move will happen. These signings show Rodgers Winter be playing out wide. You won't be playing out wide. I wouldn't rule it out. It gives us things to mix and blend. This guy could be playing out wide. Morgan Rogers could be playing centrally with Eze. Morgan Rogers could be out wide. We need to be able to pivot and try different things and put spanners in the works. With Morgan Rogers, I want that beyond the obvious because I do think he's a level raiser. I do think he's chaotic. I do think, you know, technical ability, swagger, ability to score goals, strike of a ball, free kicks, versatility appeals to me. Because when I do think about Morgan Rogers, I am thinking about if we named Arsenal's strongest 11 right now, where would you play? Probably you getting off that left. And granted, but I think what people are forgetting is he's played a lot of the time. He's played a fair amount for Aston Villa off the right. Now, for me, if Saka's doing what Saka needs to do, then great. But if Saka isn't, or he needs to be rested, or there's a lot of football, you've got Max Dowman, you've got Morgan Rogers that can go over there. Shout out Noni, but we prefer to see Max Dowman and obviously Morgan Rogers over there. And I don't really want to speak about it, but off the ball is so important. Morgan Rogers, we know Arteta likes these kind of Swiss Army knives. Off the ball, why do you think, regardless of Odegaard's form, he's going to play? Forget the fact that he's captain. He understands, and I'm not saying this as a cop-out, he understands the system, where you need to stand, how to lead the press, all of that kind of jazz. Unfortunately, in the modern day, in this current climate, if your manager is Pep Guardiola, is Luis Enrique, is Mikel Arteta, I would even say Enzo Maresca and company, it's what you do off the ball. And I think coming through City system via West Brom, you're going to know about that stuff. Under Unai Emery, you're going to know about that stuff. And I think Arteta will put Morgan Rogers ahead of Eze in the pecking order. I think Morgan Rogers can press a lot better than Eze. I think he's on that kind of dirty work. I wouldn't even be surprised if he, at some point in his career, if he signed for a 4 or 5 year deal, if he played up front for Arsenal. I do think off the ball, versatility, all of that kind of jazz appeals to Arteta, on top of the fact that he's a good player, innit? It's chaotic. And it makes me look good because I've got a video from a few years ago when I saw him playing for West Brom in the academy. I wanted him. It can age like fine wine, just like my Eze video. I still maintain Arsenal should have signed Eze and not William, but who knows? Eze, you signed for Arsenal then, as Neil said, timing is important. You might not have been the guy, man. And again, I said scouts do your job. Now, obviously, the data team, they're not just looking at numbers on a spreadsheet, innit? You know, scouts are obviously using their eyes, watching clips and watching him in person. The eye test, the data is showing stuff. And it's metrics that are obviously beyond goals and assists. It's probably heat map, the number of times you've pressed off your own back, your defensive shift, all of these kind of things and more probably points towards positivity around this guy. So it's looking on paper we could get 3 attackers. We're going to get Monga, who's a long-term signing. This guy's short, medium, and long-term-ish because he's 24. And I don't really want to speculate on Rodgers ultimately until we sign the guy, but you get the point. We want trophies. 20 million is nothing for Trossard. Rather drop Jesus, keep Martinelli up front, Trossard back up to Rodgers. Yeah, you lot need to give up on Martinelli up front at Arsenal Football Club, man. I'm not going to cap to you lot. Can we get some more likes, please? It's pronounced Tzolis. The TZ is silent. Thank you, man. I tried, man. I'm not the guy, man. So it's Tzolis. All right. See, rather than help, guys. This is why I rate Tony. Tony, you know, you see someone down, he's picking them up. Don't mock people in life. Try to help people, man. Nah, it's all entertainment. Get him and Mika Gotts for left wing. Rodgers as a cam, but getting rid of Odegaard. I don't think we get rid of Odegaard. It reminds me of 5 and Jorginho because the contract situation ain't the best for both Nelly and Trossard. So Arsenal preparing for the possibility of both leaving, even though Nelly has 1+1, which is true. And you got to imagine, you got to be able to pivot in every direction. I'm starting to trust our board more with these unknown signings. Mascara and Hincapié showed we have good talent. Hincapié weren't really unknown, neither was Mascara. But you're right, man. Like, these low-level opportunities, why not? And if they work, they work. We know my guy, not here for money. He's going to want to make an impact. Smash the likes. I think it's time we go for proven game changers. Although these signings are decent, I don't feel it takes us to the next level. I'd rather we go for top players and at least say we can say we tried. To be fair, the market's just opened, man. Like, it's just opened. I do think we're gonna go for stuff. Like, if last season told us nothing, just wait and judge them at the end, innit? There's gonna be periods. Yes, we're gonna get itchy feet when we see what other clubs are doing. But by the end of it, we was all happy with Mascara. I wasn't keen on Noni, but all right, cool. They went and got Noni. Obviously, the ones we were gassed about was the Yokereses and the SAs. So, and I was told you lot in the summer last year, Hincapié is going to be good for us. So let's not judge them at the. If we need to learn lessons, let's judge at the end. Let's judge at the end. Let's judge at the end. You know, it's like going to a supermarket. You know, you need to go buy chicken. Don't judge the shopping trolley just because we've gone to the cereal section first. What matters is when we get to the till and ultimately what we've paid for, innit? We limped along with Nelly and Trossard. When the market's not been there, we got a top striker option in last summer's market. Also hearing a lot about certain players disrupting the dressing room harmony. Arteta is built as a coach manager. It's down to you to get the best out of them as well. Managing their ego, talking from experience. I can't lie, I ain't seen them rumors, so I can't speculate. But yeah, just a heads up, Bawardi news. We're going to get into it, man. Big up DG and the nation. Apologies for lateness. US game can last me. So it's Tzolis. Yeah, we're calling him Tzolis. His name's Tzolis. It might become Trolosis. We might just have to call him that. Just like I changed, what was it? Romontada and Rotonda. We remember that. We're changing it. It's Tolosis now. Sounds like a younger Trossard, Mo. Fair play. Odegaard will be sold. Rodgers in the 8-10 and the superstar on the left wing. I don't think Trossard goes this summer, but I'm listening. I don't know, man. Confidence and ego is interesting. Does confidence bring form or does form bring confidence? Fucking hell. Confidence and ego is interesting. Does confidence bring form or does form bring confidence? They're hand in hand. It's hand in hand. If you're confident in your job, naturally that's going to bring form. But naturally, I guess if you do something, you see you're good at something, you're going to be happy, innit? It's like if I try and learn a new skill, at the beginning, I'm going to be shit. There's times I'm doubting myself. Then when I do have that breakthrough and I am learning it, I'm good at, that's going to bring you more confidence to get better. So it's probably hand in hand, really and truly. Probably hand in hand. Although I'm not saying I'm better than Arteta, but making a point, treating the deal with players with ego and know they are better than the squad and how to manage it. Again, I can't speak on rumors around ego and them things because you'd have to point me to where you're reading it. Berra is now flexing his reach, in my opinion. Hope so. I really hope so. Let's see what the guy hand of Arsenal is saying. It's a long read, but when I see Romano Ornstein and you talking, I listen. Bradley Bacola situation. Musa Sissoko has been trying to renew Bradley Bacola's contract for the best part of 9 to 12 months. That's interesting because as a novice, it feels like Bradley Bacola doesn't want to sign a new deal. And it's looking like PSG have had enough, like renew or we're going to sell. If his agent wants him to renew a new deal, that tells you Bacola might want to stay at the club, but it's having to make sense financially or question marks about his long-term role beyond being a squad player, a valued squad player, but a squad player. I don't know, people. Talks have been very difficult. It reached a point where both parties agreed to put negotiations on hold so that Bacola and PSG could focus on important fixtures in April and May. Soon after the Champions League final, talks resumed and remain ongoing. The player reportedly told people close to him that he was disappointed not to start a number of important fixtures. PSG's position is clear. Renew or will sell, as his contract expires in June 2028. Personally, I think that is a significant stance for the club to take. Am I being greedy? Or could we get Tzolis, Trinosis, Bradley Bacola, and a Morgan Rodgers? Am I being too greedy? Am I getting excited, people? Or is it a thing where could it be Tzolis and Bradley Bacola and maybe the Morgan Rodgers thing don't bang? But admittedly, as I'm a hypocrite, because even though I don't think Odegaard leaves, if we were to sign all three of them, going back to what someone commented, it would make me believe, you know what, maybe they'd be open to selling Odegaard. I don't think they're going to sell him. We just won the Prem. I actually don't want to sell Odegaard yet, but I will say this. I do think there's 4 names I've actually said. Kai Havertz, Odegaard, Trossard, Martinelli. Kai Havertz and Odegaard are a lot more important, right? they're key to the system. But I do think potentially in the next 2 years, like Trossard and Martinelli, one might be phased out this summer, the next one the next summer. I'll be surprised if at the start of the 2027-28 season, if both Odegaard and Kai Havertz are still here, provided, Kai, I think we've run you into the ground. If they're fit and doing what they're doing, then I think Arteta keeps them. But if we have seasons like we've seen, I think Berta and Arteta might say, you know what, we're evolving. We're trying to get better players. Time waits for no one. Their own big wages. Because admittedly, if you were to name Arsenal's strongest 11 in Arteta's mind, not your own, you can make a case. Kai is playing up front. Odegaard is in that side. But we're more talking about the system. As we get better, these things kind of become played out. So, yeah, man. Bacola's agent also represents Osman Dembele and Doué. All right, what Doué thing? Let me read. What we're getting Doué, and maintains a good relationship with PSG. The club is also in serious talks regarding Yan Diomande and Magnus Akaluche from Monaco, which could further influence the situation around Bacola. Both Arsenal and Liverpool are interested, but I want to explain Arsenal's side of the story. Andrea Berta made serious inquiries. In Berta we trust, he's a tug, in Bacola's situation last summer. At the time, Arsenal were informed that the player would stay for at least one more year. Since then, Berta has remained in constant contact with Sissoko and has made it clear that Bacola is of serious interest to Arsenal. He has also asked to be notified if PSG become more open to a sale. Should Arsenal make an official approach towards PSG, there will be a further update. Arsenal also hold an interest in Morgan Rogers and one player, in brackets, sensitive info currently. More on that in due course. So that isn't Bacola, Rogers, Monga, Tzolis as well. That's our next player. Who is that? I would love to know. As always, Andrea Berta is willing to agree personal terms with multiple targets and make a move when the timing suits Arsenal. Before I sign off, there's something worth noting. Andrea Berta is very happy for misinformation to circle publicly. Berta and Co are busy behind the scenes and many details remain unknown as Arsenal move silently. Allow me to provide a free exclusive as an example of that, which is unknown. Arsenal made a standard checks on Nico Paz. Nico was reportedly left confused following a recent call with Mourinho. Although another conversation may be scheduled, Arsenal have also made serious checks on Christos Tolis, the Greek winger. My point is, a great deal is happening behind the curtain. Embrace the silence, and as always, choose your sources of information carefully. So there's an unknown done. We sniffed around Nico Paz. We know what Berta's on. The key thing there is Berta's happy for, you publications make your noise. We're dealing with the business. And Bacola's a situation to watch interestingly. And what this tells me is whether it's a Morgan Rogers, whether it's a Bacola, based on what we've read and also the World Cup, this is the calm before the storm. These quote-unquote A-list targets, it's going to explode after the World Cup, innit? So, yeah, let's just keep it moving. Big up hand of Arsenal with that. Sammy Moltbo has said we have offered Club Brugge. Arsenal have been offered Club Brugge forward Tzolis and are considering accelerating a move for the Greece international. Been offered, so who's offered him to us? I don't know. Sources have indicated that sporting director Andrea Berta is actively working on a potential deal. Arsenal recruitment expert Maurizio Micheli flew to Sweden last week to run the rule over the 24-year-old. Sources are indicating that Arsenal's interest is concrete. Arteta is believed to be on board with the signing, could be available for 35 million. We've made a new attacker a top priority, and we also still hold a genuine interest in Morgan Rogers. So, yeah. He found the back of the net 33 times in 2 campaigns in Belgium. So, yeah, people, when this stops freezing. The Daily Mail saying Arsenal, indeed, all top European clubs have an appreciation for Boadi. That will be reflected in Leo's valuation of around 60 million. That's why I don't think we get Tonali, because 60 million, how much are they saying for Tonali? If they're saying 60, 70, we might get Tonali because he's right now, but this guy's got years on his side. He's in that sweet spot of being 18, but a fairly experienced player. And he's cheaper than Tonali, innit? I think we need another midfielder. So I'm all for that, people, if I'm completely honest with you. And even keeping up the theme with Boadi, as you can see here, Sasha Trevelelli, again, credibility, I don't know. Hand of Arsenal has previously spoken about Boadi, but in that paragraph we read, didn't mention him. Neither has Ornstein or Hand of Arsenal or Romano. So a bit of tranquillo, I would say. Arsenal have been actively working on signing Ayo Boadi, 18 for several months. The club have clearly indicated to Boadi that he'd be considered an important player in their project, with the player interested in a potential move. Now, that's very different to the Tonali links. Even when you go back to January, his agent offered him to Arsenal. This seems like we're actively in talks. Now, we've just seen Berta likes to agree several terms with several players, and we're a bit fluid, so it'd be interesting. Leo want around 70 million for Buwadi, while Arsenal believe their excellent relationship with club president Oliver Letang could facilitate negotiations. Another element could be, unlike PSG, who are also interested in Buwadi, Arsenal are not a direct competitor in their league. Arsenal have already scheduled further talks with Buwadi after the World Cup, and Mikel Arteta is expected to have a greater involvement in those discussions. The deal could accelerate quickly after the tournament. So the Morgan Rogers, the Buwadis, these are what's going to explode after the tournament's done. Gavin, even though you're a pagan fan, I appreciate you. It has been reported that if we sign Tzolis, it will not affect moves for other players. Mongo will be loaned out, probably at Leicester. Tzolis is a Greek professional footballer widely known for his explosive pace, dangerous dribbling, and prolific goal scoring from the left wing. Club Brugge played Atletico, Bayern, Barca, Arsenal, and Sporting last season in Champions League. Their players have good experience too. Morning, everyone. Appreciate everyone. Championship clubs probably would want Monga, but stability. You might as well stay at Leicester. What's the point going to another team? Might not work. It'd be interesting to see January of 2027 if we sign him, what would happen. Smash the likes if you haven't. If we sell Trossard for 20 million, then it makes Solstice net worth 20 million, and we'll be on lower wages, which again, it makes sense. I'm hearing we're interested in Bacola, but he's not the main option. And Hand of Arsenal said there's a player we're interested in, but sensitive info. We're just going to have to wait, but clearly does know. He's clearly a backup signing for left wing. I really don't mind that. We need a revolution in attack, even if it means Trossard and Martinelli are leaving. The analogies be analytical. Appreciate you, my boy. Noni got 12 GA, scored some important goals. Come on, man. If Noni Madueke would be a player if he had consistency in the final third, but come on, man. Come on, man. Trolosis is crazy. That's his name, man. That's his name. Slosis. Yeah, man. Slosis idol is Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe he'll be your Ronaldo. Very much doubt that, but yeah. Bacola reminds me of Rodrigo. Could decide to say Rodrigo bust his ACL, so that killed anything, man. No chance too greedy. I love it when fans expose themselves that they've never played ball before. When they bring up a player in ego. If you actually played ball in real life, you would know ego is part and parcel of the game. Every human being's got an ego. Even humbleness is an ego. Odegaard and Havertz need to be sold this summer. I'm not going to lie. Listen, the club will go on, but Martinelli, Trossard, Odegaard, Havertz, sell all four. It's a bit too much change for me. After Liverpool spent all that bread, it's only right we invest. Just have to do it smartly. Man City will strengthen with the loss of Pep as well. Stay on their necks. I reckon we could do the mad thing and bag 3 attackers. I'll be real. What, Morgan Rogers, Dishy, Slosis. Who else though? A striker? I know some of you are still screaming this Julian Alvarez till you got to let it go, man. Odegaard's still a baller, but that injury record last season is concerning. Don't get it twisted. He needs a good season next year, or is what it is. Martinelli and Trossard will leave. Slosis, Bacola, and Rogers are possible. Vinicius Jr. I'll believe it when I see it. Vinicius coming to the carpet, your dream chasing. Martinelli, Trossard, Odegaard out. I do Rogers centre, Bacola left wing with Solstice. Jude and Rogers shut down the window. Some of you are dream chasing, man. Aston Villa have no desire to sell Morgan Rogers, but suitors such as Arsenal believe 80 million could prompt negotiations. Prompt negotiations, I don't doubt. It could 100% prompt negotiations to try and get a resolution sorted for Morgan Rogers. But to get a deal done, I think they're going to go to 100. Mazza, what a name. Ibrahim Mazza, 20, is on the radar of Chelsea this summer, as well as Tottenham and Arsenal. We'll have to see how that one there develops. Nottingham Forest, and this almost excites me as much as obviously the other moves. Nottingham Forest have submitted a 28 million euros bid for Fabio Vieira. Hamburg are still trying to keep the player following his loan from Arsenal, but their chances are faded. Bro, Hamburg were never paying 28 million euros. So again, you get 28 million euros for Fabio Vieira. Great. And I'll rate Berta the most. If Berta is able to finally get rid of Reece Nelson and Gabriel Jesus, he's done his thing. So yeah, that signing kind of pays for itself. And you know what? When you sign my man for 34.5 million, I hope it works. But if it doesn't, we can get rid. The Telegraph are saying Arsenal are interested in Alex Scott, 22. Bournemouth are eager to keep him and tie him down to a new long-term contract. He is linked with a new deal at Bournemouth. And subsequently, when you're a player like him, you're going to be linked with moves away. He's primarily linked with United, Arsenal, and Chelsea. I don't think we go for him. Decent player, would not be against it. We have already gone over that with Buwadi, so I won't bore you lot with that. Besiktas are preparing an official offer for Trossard. The club have allocated a transfer fee of around 20 million euros and an annual salary of 7 million euros for the player. Would you lot do that? If that was actually correct, talks apparently are progressing well with Mikel Arteta over a new deal. I saw this as well. And what do you lot make of it? Lacau of Crystal Palace has been discussed by Real Madrid, Arsenal, and Manchester United. And apparently we're all admirers of him. He's in standoff contract talks with Crystal Palace. He done well in the Bundesliga before going Crystal Palace. He's been a great servant for Crystal Palace. He's achieved good things with them. Like his fellow club teammate, he's been called up to France. I mean, Real Madrid needs no introduction in it. And to be honest, if Man United get back on board, where Arsenal are at this moment, and Real Madrid, you have to be prepared to compete. And obviously, someone like Rudiger's not going to be at Real Madrid for a while. Not Rudiger, sorry. Alaba's going to leave. I don't see why. Like, he is one of the best centre-halves about, if I'm completely honest with you. And at Arsenal, I'd be open to it. If we had him, Saliba, Gabriel, Mascara, and I'm not saying I want to see it necessarily, but Timber, Benjamin White, for example, Hincapié, Calafiori, they can all play centre-half. Granted, but what would be the fee? I reckon he leaves in it and goes for pastures new. I just think he should be there. Ben Jacobs has said Arsenal looking for a midfielder, whether a 6 or an 8, possibly both, dependent on outgoings. The Daily Mail spoke. So yeah, we're interested in Bradley Bacola and Morgan Rogers. We're moving and advancing with this Tzolis signing. We still retain an interest in Jeremy Monga. Oddly, Burt is working. Interestingly, it said Bournemouth and Besiktas are interested in Trossard. So Bournemouth, what are you lot saying for Alex Scott? Part that off. What are you lot saying for Krupi? How much do you value Trossard? Trossard's been linked with some decent clubs. Besiktas, Bournemouth, Aston Villa. Aston Villa would be a great project to join. Besiktas, is ridiculous anyways because, Turkish people, they love football. Whether you look at Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas, it's mad. I think the tax laws in Turkey means, you can earn a bit of bank over there. For Trossard at 31, it might if you could get a 2-3 year deal somewhere, probably not free, you're going to take it. You're not going to get that security at Arsenal. Keeping up the theme with existing players, apparently Saliba's missed consecutive training people for France. So it's a bit like what's going on with England and Saka. What's this? Saliba goes into the FIFA World Cup with an injury concern. The Arsenal defender is currently managing back pain. I'm not going to lie. I would go for the Crystal Palace lad if we know Saliba's going to have surgery and be out for a while. Prior to flying to the US, there had been fears that the Arsenal defender's FIFA World Cup dreams could be curtailed by this issue. However, the severity of the problem has been downplayed by the Champs and France's medical staff. It's still an issue that needs management, however, and there's a prospect of Saliba undergoing surgery on the problem post-tournament. L'Equipe reported yesterday that Saliba had missed France's Thursday session along with Rabiot. The pair did laps of the pitch. There are 3 absentees on Friday. The publication now adds Saliba, who was following a personalized regime, was absent this time alongside Theo Hernandez and Tchouaméni. So we'll have to see what's going on there. Yesterday, we were keeping up the theme with France with Manu Kone of AS Roma people. He's got a deal until 2029. Inter Milan apparently have interest. It also says Roma are struggling with FFP, so that could be where you're seeing those rumors. It could be creative journalism. It says it will take between 40 to 50 million euros to prize him away, people. Apparently, Goldberg is saying Chelsea have renewed their interest in Wanyeri. I actually wouldn't downplay that. Silly season. Real Madrid are planning a move for Gabby Martinelli if Vinicius departs. Madrid are also open to Vinicius to Arsenal part exchange. Silly season is really upon us. Vinicius has decided he'll see out his contract and leave for free if Real Madrid don't make a move. However, his intention has always been to renew. I'm loving the Trossard news because we've gone over that. And it doesn't appear that there's anything else in that regards. What's on the timeline? No, I don't care. What's this about? Man, I don't care about that KSI shit, man. We live in the real world. What's this account? Is this account legit? Come on, tell us we're signing Lionel Messi. So yeah, we've joined the race for Alex Scott. I can't lie. I think we just have a degree of interest, but I think it's a myth. And this guy's just remixing stuff because we've just read this from Hand of Arsenal. At no point did we see Arsenal in direct talks for the Monaco or the Amanda. Yeah, man, get off my account, man. Absolute nonsense. So we'll just leave that on screen. Yo, DG, do you rate Bacola that highly considering he's got that Noni type finishing? I rate him a lot more than Noni. I do think he's a good footballer, but bro, we've got too many of these guys that if they could just improve their decision making, the penny needs to drop. But Wardy's the truth. Big up yourself, man. He smashed the like button. Our source is DG and DG we trust. I appreciate you. I ain't no transfer man, but appreciate you. Bro, what is his name? Is it Tzolis? Listen, that's the lad. That's the lad. Jeremy Monga will stay at Arsenal first 6 months. He'll have the opportunity to convince Arteta. Even humbleness is an ego. What do you mean by that? You're a human. You're going to have an ego. Even everybody, it's humanly impossible to not have an ego. You know, even people that want to be humble and they want to share things to each other and whatnot. Like I want to make, if you all came to my house and I make sure you're all eating, that makes me feel good. Even the most humble people have egos. There's nothing wrong with having an ego. The problem with an ego is if you think you're better than any man or woman, because of anything else. And you're not better. Nobody's better than you. You're not better than no one else. We're all on a level playing field. Yeah. Morning, Els. Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard, Jesus, Havertz have to go. No need to be sentimental. I'm not even being sentimental. I don't feel comfortable with that amount of change. Last season, we signed Hincapi and Maresca. The pronunciation is all part of the magic. Fair play. Saliba's twin. I'll take Lukaku as backup centre-back. Palace have more players at the World Cup than Real Madrid. They've got talent. We've been linked to Manu Kone. I'm not on Krupi. Bro, Krupi, I'm on that, bro. You're a brave man scrolling Twitter live. You get some effed up ads pop up. I had to delete the app. I don't get that, to be fair. You're watching Brazil. We will be doing a watch along for Brazil. Brazil kick off at 11 p.m. UK time, so we'll be there. Trossard is clutch, boys. One more season. Odegaard, you'd have to replace with a creative player in terms of passing. I do think us being linked with Nico Paz is interesting because he can play a lot of roles, yeah, but you would imagine he is in that Odegaard role. So that can tell you we're on signing more creative midfielders. So, yeah, good morning, Arsenal champions community. Facts. Tzolis is celebrated as one of Europe's top rising talents, renowned for his remarkable goals and assists, dynamic offensive force, racking up massive goal contributions across top 5 European divisions. Has he really done it across top 5? Dalman and Monga, that's key. Future-proofing developments, key. Facts. And it just shows us that it going hand in hand, innit? Like, you're getting players for the long term and short term being like next season we're trying to win the league again. I'm for it. And this is probably the happy, beyond the fact that we've won the Premier League, this is probably the happiest that I felt as an Arsenal fan. Of course, it's not going to change overnight, but the little rumblings and rumours you're hearing that obviously market opportunities like my man still want to go for people like Morgan Rogers, sniffing around Bradley Bacola, like immediate players for the first team. Actually around the youth recruitment for like the 21s and the 18s, because that's one thing that pees me off. I know winning isn't everything at that level, people, but for me, I watch us in the youth league a lot. We do watch alongs, like the youth equivalent of the Champions League. I watch us in the FA Youth Cup. Bro, we're not competitive enough, bro. Like the squad ain't good enough. So to see what we're doing at all, like at the youth level, find talents that can break through to the first team, establish stars, obviously Berta and that Mauricio guy patterning, the way Josh Kroenke's moving, the way our players are moving, the way our Arteta's moving, the way we're feeling as fans and having things to celebrate. This is what we wanted to be in, innit? Like, Hayland is pumping talent. We've got money to buy players. I'm not saying we're going to bully the league and whatnot, but you get the vibe now that the talking is correlating with the doing. And it's taken a fucking long way for us to feel like this. This is our time to do something, man. I know we didn't win the Champions League. Personally, I think we're cursed, and I've seen us go to 3 European finals now, so I'll believe we'll win the champs when I see it. And I know people can mock me and do the laughing thing, but I've never believed, and I don't know what the future is going to look like, because although I think you can look at the correlation in the Champions League and see quarters, semis, final, and think, yeah, we're competitive. Like, obviously, year in, year out, you're going to talk about PSG, about Bayern, about Madrid. These are all going to be the favourites, whether they're in a good moment or not. But I think other than that, we're in the race, innit? Like, it's a long day at the office kind of playing us. So I've never believed more that we can win the Champions League in the next 3 years. I don't know if that's going to happen, because although I think we're going to be in the latter stages next year, I do think sometimes you've got to grab that opportunity, because I've seen teams that haven't necessarily been good domestically win the Champions League. And I do think, we earned the right to be on the right side of the draw. If Barcelona play Atletico Madrid next season, I think Barca win, that we can't be held accountable for that. Yes, Sporting Lisbon, Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid, it's a lot easier on paper than PSG side. But if you're keeping it a buck and keeping it true, and we all watch football as much as we claim, yes, I see Liverpool and Chelsea. PSG had to play them. They're big clubs and difficult sides to play. And yes, that's a harder run. But in reality, you could argue this season is probably a more difficult task. Definitely bucking by Leverkusen than it is Liverpool and Chelsea in the champs. They've been shit, or they were shit last season. So on one hand, I do think you've got to grab that moment, and we was within an inch of pulling off the biggest of dark arts. But that's why I need better attacking talents, because I did feel that in the second half against PSG. When I get away from the collective game plan, we needed to hold on to the ball better. We needed a bit of magic. Like if I'm keeping it a buck, you know, the League Cup final, Saka didn't have the best of games, like the Champions League. Noni, there was nothing to scream and shout about. But you've come off the bench, and just because you like to take people on, you've provoked a bit of havoc. Now, obviously, end product is Noni's Achilles heel. But that's my point. Even though Bacola's decision making shit, but if you do have the Bacolas, the Rogers, you know, we are not going to grab him in it, but Julian Alvarez, these kind of guys, yeah, people. Maybe if you're in that situation in a Champions League final, there's a different outcome. Because what I've seen is we're going to evolve tactically, but what we do, whether people like it or not, there's proof of concept. People said it's not sustainable. It is. We won the league. I do think we're going to evolve. We're going to marry what we do defensively and take it to another level in attack. We've got proof of concept domestically. You've also got proof of concept with what we've been doing in the last 2 years in Europe, because people have said they've been talking about how we perform. I know we ain't won the medals, but end of the day, yeah, Arsenal is a difficult day at the office. It's not what it used to be. It's you come and break us down, we can harm you, and we've beaten in the last 2-3 years, bro. Even though last season our top 6 record weren't the best, you know what time it is. We still ain't won at Anfield, which pisses me off, but we've under Arteta, definitely in the Emirates era, bro, the top 6 games or the big games, they're not write-offs. And in Europe, we've competed well in the last, we played PSG like 4 times. Ultimately, we're not on the right side of history, but we've coped well. I still remember Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. When we got to the quarterfinals, I think Arteta's first year technically in the champs. We've slapped it on Real Madrid. We dealt with Atletico Madrid. You know, we've beaten Bayern Munich. So in Europe, I think we're competitive, but I think in that final, it made me feel Arteta, the tactics attackingly, we need to do a bit. I think players saying taking responsibility isn't the right word, isn't it? But take greater responsibility. And I just think you need better players, bro. Like better attackers. As I said, you know, I do think in the Champions League, a lot of things have to arrive at the right moment, man. And one does wonder. There's a lot of wonders I have in the Champions League final. Like, what if we arrived with our attackers in better form, like Saka and all of that? What if, and because from a tactics point of view, I agreed. I'm not even criticizing Arteta. It's just hindsight and reasoning with you lot. When I look back to that Champions League final, tactically, logically, I do think Kai needed to come off. I do think Odegaard needed to come off. I do think Saka needed to come off. But looking back at it, obviously, if I knew then what I know now, and I knew it was going to get to penalties, one does wonder, obviously, if you kept Kai on the pitch, if you kept Odegaard on the pitch, if you kept Saka on the pitch, they all could have missed. But if them 3 were taking penalties, Rice would have stepped up, Gyökeres would have stepped up, Martinelli, Banduli would have stepped up. Maybe there's something different. Beyond the obvious, like if Eze hits the target and doesn't do the starter, if Magalhaes doesn't punt it into space, you know, if Mosquera doesn't give the penalty away, if, you know, Kai bagged, but I'm sure Kai had another opportunity where we could have got a goal or an assist, you know, if Mosquera is sent off, if a penalty is given against Saka, if Noni gets a penalty, these are all what ifs, but you have to deal with the what ifs in it. So yeah, man, that was just random thoughts, man. So I love you lot. It's nice to speak with you lot. And again, the community, take my hat off to you lot. I'm in my hats wave now, people. You're going to see a lot more hats. Just cool, man. Zeus, Lightning, Winger, Electrifying. You know what? Fuck it, man. Why not? Isn't Nico Pass going back to Madrid? I'd love him, though. He will go back one day, but what Hand of Arsenal said there correlates with kind of what Romano is saying in that. Romano said, Nico Pass said, I want to stay at Como one more year. We just read what we read from Hand of Arsenal, where he said he's been confused with Mourinho and whatnot. Again, for these young players, you got stability at Como. So, yeah. I'd be nice, man. I got you. Hey, Jerome's my guy, Riley. Like that, man. Friendly fire. You're both, you know, pillars of the community. I got you. You had me confused because humility is the death of ego. But you mean even typically humble people have egos? Yeah, I agree to that. Yeah, no, you have to kill your ego, bro. And I always say, you have to humble yourself before life humbles you, because life definitely humbled me. As I said, I believe in egos. And when I see it pisses me off, because when you see athletes, obviously footballers, but heavy more so on individual sports. So Muhammad Ali, Mayweather, you need that. You need an ego in anything you do. Some of you in you lot's jobs, some of you have great jobs. Some of you are probably great carpenters, business owners, consultants, whatever. You need an ego to a degree. The ego don't mean I'm talking to people like they're a piece of shit. I'm good at whether it's because of evidence or deluded belief. I believe I'm good enough at this role. You need an ego, bro. Because if you don't believe, who does? So, yeah. Before we... Jerome, as he said, smash the like button, please. It helps the algorithm, etc. Before we became champions, I said we should shop at the highest bracket for players. Even Ornstein's Even Ornstein is bold with eye-catching business. Transfers like Vinicius is possible. Bro, let's just see, man. Let's just see, man. Let's just see. I'm enjoying it, man. I'm wearing the kit. I'm not doing the fake virtue signaling thing. If I really cared, I wouldn't have a smartphone. Are you lot chill, man? Chat chill, man. Is he any good? We're gonna find out. Smash the likes. You don't want expected high bills. I was vexed with Eze's pen. Big Gabby, I wasn't. You can miss a pen. For me, with Eze, if he didn't do that BS and missed, wouldn't have been upset. But at the same time, going back to what I said, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, I don't really, as much as I'm critical on the people that stepped up, I can't really in it, because if you lot thought that somebody's got to miss and destiny's cruel, but if you lot let your nuts hang and said, yo, I'm ready to take a penalty, then it is what it is, isn't it? Really, it shouldn't have got there. I must admit, again, if Noni and Zubi are not good at penalties, or them lot were more confident and these lot were shook, but for me, I'm disappointed you man never stepped up still. I'm disappointed. But it's a learning curve, man. If life was fair, we do have a lot less in it, and it's a season of reflection where we've defeated the imposter syndrome, because I know our players and our managers believed what we could do, but at some point, when you've always been falling up short, there you twisting and turning. So you've had the high of the Prem. You obviously bounced back because the League Cup, obviously disappointment, getting to a final, having to climb the Wembley steps. You ain't won the league and whatnot. I mean, you didn't win the Cup. There's that. There's the Champions League. There's them kind of lows. And then there's the high of winning the Prem. And I must admit, we're going to have to get used to it, bro. We're going to have to get used to it. Obviously, Pep Guardiola, Jose, Wenger, Sir Alex Ferguson, they've won bare things, have bare achievements, but they've been in that realm. They can't win all the time. The Klopp, there's been bare L's. It's going to happen. You can't win all the time. So we have to get used to it. And, bro, these are the problems and conversations we wanted it to be in, innit? Like, let's be real. As we've been talking about with our attack, we still made a Champions League final, won the Prem. We're getting mocked ultimately for doubling down on something. We're not saying we don't need to get better at attack, because I think you can see the balance argument I'm presenting. But people are getting at us for our approach against PSG that almost worked. Granted, it didn't work. I'm not flexing an almost Champions League trophy, but we're getting mocked for that approach not working, losing on penalties against the defending European champions and the best club at this moment in time in Europe, on top of winning the Premier League. These are the conversations I wanted to be in. This is a lot better than, I'm still scarred by. Do you remember when we missed out on top 4 to Spurs and we got slapped against Spurs? We got slapped against Newcastle. These are the problems we wanted to be in, innit? Appreciate you. Wise words, man. Appreciate you. 100% you stepped up. Respect for that. You're allowed to miss. I watch the best players miss, but it's like you're being cocky and then flop. I'd rather you punt it. Bro, I'm with you. I'd rather just, Eze, run up there hard and low. But if that's your technique, if that's what's worked with you, fair play. For me, it's a bit nervy, though, and it looks so terrible when you're slowing, and you miss the target, and it does set the tone, innit? I would say. I knew Gyökeres would bag. I had complete faith in Rice. Martinelli, very good pen. Martinelli scared me the most. And I was more scared by, like, Magalhaes, what the fuck are you stepping up for? But it's done, innit? It's done, innit? Life humbled me, and I'm forever grateful. So, yeah, man. Is it a shout for Wanyeri to go on loan at Como if Cess is still going to be at the club? It would be, you know. It would be. I wouldn't be against it. You can see the track record they got with young players. Why not? DG, did you finally buy a kit because we won the league? Did you get your champion shirt? I ain't got my champion shirt, but I will be purchasing whatever the hell our next season's home shirt is. I want this season, the season that's just gone, I want the white shirt, man. I do. Bro, Nico Pass would be a lovely signing, bro. Be an absolute lovely signing. It'd be a movie, man. And it's the calm before the storm. It's the 13th of July, man. Like, there's a day's a long time in football, let alone the transfer market. So things are happening. And as I said, from last season, we've got to learn, because everybody lost their shit when we had Kepa and Noni. Eze landed, Gyökeres landed. And I think you got to be fair, man. When the club gives you reasons where there's been seasons to not, you know, when the owners have spoken, or Arteta's spoken, or the sporting director's spoken, or the players have spoken, when the doing and the talking hasn't matched up, by all means, we're ready to criticize them. So I think they've earned the right to trust them, if I'm honest. I don't trust anyone blindly. I don't trust people that I don't know. Ultimately, I don't know Arteta. I don't know Bert. I don't know these guys, but the talking is correlated. Like, the way Josh has been speaking and what we've achieved, all right, go do your thing. Bert, admittedly, you're an exception to the rule. I ain't ever heard an interview from you, but you've been moving how I need you to move, with the contracts, with the negotiations, everything. Keep doing what you're doing. So let's just sit back, relax, enjoy the World Cup, talk about the noise if and when it arrives, people. And yeah, a lot of you think Martinelli and Trossard both get sold. If they get sold, it is what it is. But We've got to use the Liverpool example. You've got to be careful of so much change. We've got 5 more likes until we hit 100 people. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? What's all that about? What is all of that? So, yeah. Yeah, I wish they released the kits when the season is actually over, not before the last game. Loads of people wanted the white shirt from this season. Luckily, I bought mine mid-season. I love Tzolis too as an Arsenal fan. Morning, Cabby. Champions of England. We know what we are. Let's see if everyone says the same if Ataya missed a pen in the World Cup doing his stupid run-up. He got a bag. With Eze, he scored 7 of his last 10 pens. And for Eze, listen, life is a movie, bro. Because if you told him 2 years is an exaggeration, but if you told him 5 years or so ago, or 6 years ago, 2020, when I made a video saying we need to grab him from QPR and not go for Willian, if somebody told him, you're the club that released you, the club you want to play for, Arsenal Football Club, they're going to sign you. And it's not even going to start well. There's going to be times where you're questioning yourself. You go and slap it on Spurs twice. You win the Premier League. You score against Crystal Palace. You're part of a team that wins the Premier League back at Crystal Palace. You play in your first ever Champions League on top of a great run and you miss a penalty and you're going to the World Cup. Bro, this is movies, bro. This is a movie. Movies don't always have a happy ending. And I can't lie, as a 31-year-old Arsenal fan, I'm not trying to sound pessimistic. I can't put my heart in believing in Europe again, man. I can't. Because I was a lot more pissed off in 2006, but I did feel the few weeks, it's cruel, bro. Like, I think we're cursed in Europe, man. Baku, Paris, Budapest. It's just not our thing, man. Eze's story is written, his story isn't done. It can't be done, man. You're a year into what I assume is a 4 or 5 year deal. But on the sideline on smoke. Hey, bro, a Berta's about this. I ever seen an interview. I've seen you punch man up or attempt to punch man up. I see you at the parades. I see you moving mad. You're doing what you need to do in terms of new negotiations, trying to move people on, bringing people in. This is what we wanted. We wanted the best of the best or the best in the industry. We've got that with Berta. The owners are doing what they need to do. We've got one of the best managers on the scene at the moment in Mikel Arteta. There's certain aspects, let's be honest, about Arsenal that's the envy of Europe. There's certain things that we are envious about other clubs with. So the ambition is you got to chase perfection. Perfection, for me, is domination, like I've seen from Pep Guardiola and Sir Alex Ferguson, like I've seen Real Madrid do in Europe, like what PSG is doing. We're never going to get that. But if we're not chasing that, then what are we doing here? I wouldn't sell both. People just assume new signings coming in bang. Facts. Martinelli right back his time. I don't want Gabriel to step up for penalties again. I knew he'd miss as soon as I saw him wake up. DG, we're getting Fernandes. Him and Edison, good signings for United. I hope they don't bang, though. The technique wasn't bad, though. He sold the keeper. Was surprised he missed. End of the day, it don't matter how you take a penalty. If you score, it's the right decision. If you miss, it's the wrong decision, innit? And big up the players. It would have been Magalhaes, you're my guy. You died an honorable death. You died a Spartan death. You stood up. It didn't bang. But I like Magalhaes. He's my guy. Saw his name in lights, man. He's like, I'm gonna take it and bag. So yeah, and maybe in training, obviously it looked dumb on a match day or in a Champions League final. But maybe Eze in training, he's bagged that. In Gabriel, he's bagged that. I guess if we're ever in a final, man, they just work on penalties a bit more, innit? I'm Raya as well because I'm not onto Raya, yeah. But I'm sure if I remember correctly, in the Champions League, there was a penalty he dived bare early. Maybe when I see things like that, maybe he was pump faked by the taker. Maybe the analytical department, they knew he was like, they assumed he was going to do what they worked on. Nah, man, you can't say it's all Eze's fault. It's not just all Eze's fault. It's not just all Gabriel Magalhaes' fault. And I'm not being funny. Those are two of the players that played a key role in the Champions League. Gabriel Magalhaes was a warrior. No, it's not just one person's fault. Somebody's got to miss. We're all in this together. Because you could argue we shouldn't have been in pens anyways. And the same way, it's not Mascara's fault. Obviously, 21-year-old, you're going to learn wrong side of Kvaratskhelia, penalty and whatnot. It's too easy to do that. And that's some ignorance is bliss thing. We're not blaming just one person. DG, where's the chains at? Where is my... I knew I was feeling naked. Where is it? We're flexing all summer. And you don't need to watch the stream with Rance. Rance is nervous. I asked him on his channel just yes or no. Are Man United challenging for the Premier League? They called me a politician. You lot fucked up, man. You lot fucked up letting Arsenal win this league, man. You let me become a villain. Where is it? I can only imagine a world where if we won the Premier Champs this year, blood. That one, that search goes waiting. For you lot's sake, don't make Arsenal ever win the Champions League. There we go.
Let it all work out. Is there any other Arsenal news? What's this? Alex Scott. Okay, I was excited. I can't lie. I thought it was new news. I'm excited. What's this? Okay, that's Yildiz. Come on, lie to me, man. Tell me Vinicius is leaving World Cup camp to do a medical. Lie to me. Tell me something mad. We're never going to get Vinicius. DG, Bacola, or Rodgers. If it came to, I'm on the Rodgers thing, man. I'm not going to lie. Just in terms of the skill set, away from the obvious consistency that we want to see from Bacola, away from the obvious, I would say Bacola's more what we need, but Morgan Rodgers, man. Win together, lose together, but no passengers. Exactly. As long as you don't be a pussy, you're here, man. Raya decides which way to dive before the pen taker was decided. Man said Rance was down. Can't back you on that chat. Mods banned me. Yeah, it's a dictatorship over there, man. I'm a fan of pick a side. Don't change your mind no matter what. And Ross it. Yep. And you know what? Yeah, I know how it feels to miss a penalty because it's ironic, yeah. My friend used to work for TalkSport way before I was ever like on TalkSport as a content creator. But we was in a football tournament and it came down to penalties. Like it was 5-a-side. It came down to penalties. I missed the 5th. And because of that, I know you're not meant to change. I changed my mind. I can't lie. The keeper was doing all of this. I get so much anxiety around penalties, man. Like even as any penalty shootout in my Sunday league career and school career, I think I've only taken a penalty twice. Well, no, 3 times. That was 5-a-side. I missed that one. The 3 ones we've won, that's gone to penalties. I've been part of the winning team in all the pen shouts. I've had to take them in 3 of those only because you know when everybody's taken one and you're forced to take one. That was mine. I'm not on taking a penalty, bro. I'm not on it. My thought is just hard and low because I'm just of the belief you go hard, you might miss the target, God forbid. But if you go hard and low, the keeper might dive the right way, but it might be a fingertips thing. I admire people that put it top bins. Like, do you know whose penalties I admire? Ainsley Maitland-Niles, bro. Do you know how big your bollock's got to be to take pens like that? It's easy to say that Arteta wants to turn it up next season. It's fair to say that Arteta wants to turn it up next season. We've got the league across the line, but I think that game against PSG flipped a switch for Arteta. I hope so, because even if, God forbid, but if we didn't win the Prem and the Champs or any trophy, we'd have looked at it differently. So now that we've got to a final and we've won the Prem, you've got to remove the romance. We've done a lot well. We obviously, the manager more so than us, but we could all see the areas of improvement or the marked areas individually and collectively. We're an open book. The areas we need to address in the recruitment market, we didn't learn this season. The things that we need to take from being below par, let's have it right, by our standards to the next level, we know what we need to do. Like, there's nothing we've learned this year, apart from the fact that the man can get over the line. But from a tactical point of view, what we see on our eyes with football pitch, we know what we need to do. Nobody discovered we need a left winger. We could do with another defender. We could do with a centre mid. You know, they're probably going to have our numbers marked because everybody's crying about us from set pieces. The concerns potentially about Saliba, as we saw in the France camp. Obviously, Timber as well, not playing in the World Cup. Saka as well. Declan Rice has played 60 games before the World Cup's even started. Magalhaes as well, you know, Kai, we've ran you into the ground. You've had some injuries. You're not at the World Cup. How the World Cup's going to affect all Premier League teams and players? There's all these things that we've known were factors, bro. If England get one and Eze's on the pitch, I want to see him fighting to take it. He probably will, but what I would say is you don't die, bro. And you know, Saka missed a penalty in the final for England. Obviously, it's cruel, but life, the best and worst thing about life is it fucking goes on. Shit's a marathon. As long as you still got air in your lungs, bro, this thing keeps kicking in it. And I'm sure you could all, and definitely myself, I've had great moments in my life, moments where you don't really want to wake up. You're waking up, you're like, I know you shouldn't be disrespectful and never, you know, God's woken you up, but you're like, you could do without this. It goes on, bro. Like, it goes on. Saka missed the pen, did you die, bro? Like, these things make you, innit? If life was fair, we'd all have a lot less. So your story's written, innit? So Magalhaes will get over that. Marquinhos missed one for Brazil. He's ended up winning a title. And for us, it's never going to be that we get one opportunity. It's a fairy tale. I do think we might have another bite of the cherry. And this is why, you know, if we get in quick succession back in the Champions League final, we'll probably win it. Like, Pep had to get to 2 for City. Klopp went to 2 for Liverpool. Tuchel had to go through 2 moments, you know, and whatnot. It didn't work for him at PSG, went and bang. These things happen, bro. Everyone's got their own movie. When it comes to pens, you got to let the goalkeeper choose his side. Think we're a bit too prepared. All that Champions League final taught me is we can win it. We just need more clinical forwards. The mighty PSG, best attack in the world, couldn't score an open play, but boring Arsenal did. And didn't have a shot on target to the pen. But that's the fine margins that we need to be on the right side. These things change games. Again, obviously, we scored early doors. What would the game have looked like if Kai didn't bag in the 6th minute? We can only, on one hand, we can only deal with what is, reason and consider about what isn't, and improve in it. So yeah. To be fair, most Champions League winners had to lose a final or two. Is it really most though? You could make the case because Chelsea have won it twice, but they had to lose in 08 against United, and then they went and won it. And to be fair, the last 2 finals they got in, they won it. We'll go again, man. We got no choice, but it's a shame, man. But it is what it is. Life goes on, man. So we'll hold all that Champions League, you never sing that. Okay. You lot sing that, man. We'll sit there. You lot sing that, bro. Sing that, man. Sing it, bro. You lot done singing it. Keep singing it, man. Keep singing it. Keep singing it. All right, cool. Our time now. We know what we are and all the rest of it. Is what it is. Bare people that don't support Arsenal overcompensating on that because one, they were shook. They knew, fucking hell, we had a good chance and there was some good moments where it looked like it's coming home. They know we're here to stay. And, you know, I can't talk about the future, but they know we're here to stay. And they're vexed that we won the Prem. Their biggest lows and highs have come with my team winning or losing. So at some point, they need to stop looking at Arsenal Football Club. And I get it, banter's banter. But when they have to face their front, they're not happy. That's all right. You lot take a break. Enjoy the World Cup. Enjoy the transfers. Because come August, big bad Arsenal are back. And at the end of the day, can't get your Prem back, man. A's up to freeze up, corner boys in the building. Can't get your shit back. That's it. You got the rollie, man. Everyone put their jewels in the air. Come, man. Anyone got water? Let's pour it on that. It's taking a while to get here. The future shall show. Tzolis is solid. Hey, Yaz, come back outside. You think I ever forgot one of your comments when you're taking off your shirt for Bournemouth when Bournemouth slapped us? You see how romantic life is? Bournemouth did us a favor. Yeah? I'm on you. Have you got one of these? Have you got one of these? Have you got one of these? You know, my captain, Martin Odegaard, is kissing a Premier League trophy. Your captain is kissing Embuemo's bald head. Stop Man United. Stop Man United. Before Romans, Chelsea didn't win for 50 plus years. Bro, bear droughts. I got like 9 in my life. That's great. He's still gassing up 08 drillings, 2013, 14. And this is what pisses me off about Man United fans. You lot like to have your cake and eat it. Granted, get onto Arsenal. We ain't seen it. But you lot like to do this thing where we're Man United, past glory, so we can chat shit. Well, no, cool, you can. You did it. But let's flip it on its script. You're one of the biggest in the land. You've bullied up this league. You've turned into gassing up assist records for Bruno. Excited around beating us. You know, celebrating getting voted the best match. Liverpool are slapping your head back. They beat you 7-0. You didn't finish above Pep Guardiola in his tenure here. You didn't win a Pep Guardiola. You didn't win it during the era. Say what you want about my football club. Anytime there's been a generational manager, hey, we might not won the war, but we won the battle. Ferguson was bullying this league. My club was the first to rise up and say, no, we're not doing that. Wenger dumped it on your head as well. Pep Guardiola bullying it. Arteta said, nah, you know what? I'm going to be a pagan. I'm leaving the coaching staff. I'm patterning it up. And I'm going to deliver Arsenal a title. Arteta retired in 2015. So he's retired, going to learn things under Pep Guardiola at City, come to Arsenal, almost got the sack, played free at the back, you know, and won a league title before you lot. Come outside, man. Come outside. You lot are becoming the very things you got onto Arsenal fans about. Next season's all time, man. We're the past in that, man. Clark, man. There's a generation of, man, you've seen it. There's a generation of fans that ain't seen you consistently qualify for Europe, let alone win it. 13, 14 years. The iPhone had a button. It's dark, man. So if you're going to talk the things, what we're not going to do is just some diagnosis on Arsenal. Come, man. As I told Ranch yesterday, please don't ask for Carrick out. By November, I'm going to see Carrick out t-shirts. It's all banter, man. Big up, Yaz. I ain't seen you for a minute, so I thought, let me get the trolling out of the way. Didn't certain man say we'd never win a league with Odegaard as captain? Listen, I'm never going to slander Tony Adams, but... And that's where history will be kind but unkind to Odegaard. Because at the end of the day, you were the captain that ended the 22-year drought. You were the captain that ended it, you know, that brought the first Arteta era made major honour and the first of the Emirates era. And again, I look at, there's certain man in our team where I would describe it as a full circle moment for Arsenal Football Club under Mikel Arteta. You look at where Gabriel Magalhaes started at the start of this project and him and as himself. I could be chatting shit to you lot, but it feels like Magalhaes was
Arteta's first signing or one of those, innit? I don't know. But you look at that, you look at where he started, you look at what obviously Saka came through on the Emery, innit? But you look at Saka's development at the beginning of the project, you look at Magalhaes, you look at when Odegaard was brought in, leader of the new school, won the kid at Real Madrid, didn't really work out. I'm exaggerating a bit, but leader of men for the new school from where he started to, if we assume, not that it's ended, but that would have marked the end when we won the Prem. It's a full circle moment, man. I'd love to have a conversation with Arteta. I'd love to ask him, what's different about you and what's the same about you in terms of, forget Arsenal, like coaching philosophies, life, everything when we started to where we are now, because he must have learned a lot. He must have learned maybe when to rule with an iron fist, when not to, when to make difficult decisions, when to be more of a, not that he's not a human being, but in certain moments, when to be more of a human being. Was there times you was probably too focused on the football in terms of building a mentality? Is there times where you had to do other things? Like, it'd be a very good bro. If it don't challenge you, it don't change you. And anyone that's been in that, whether I like Arteta or not, anyone that's been there for 6-7 years, on top of the conversations that he walked into and was around then to now, well, you've been through madness. And on the players as well. These men are human beings, God forbid, but they've had to cope with their missus getting pregnant, getting kids, family drama, illness in their family, bro. Real life stuff. And one thing that does piss me off is people do forget footballers are human. And if they don't, they do sit there and do this, they get paid a lot of money. Okay, so why do you see, and I know it's graphic and hearts are with everyone in it, but why do you think you see stockbrokers and all them money man there, they're always killing themselves? So if money was everything to happiness, what are you talking about? Obviously, we want to be there, but you get the point, innit? Legends were made. You don't get this kind of conversation elsewhere on YouTube, Smash the like button and subscribe. I can't lie, I'm cold at this. Our task, DG Nation, is to defeat this YouTube algorithm, man. You lot made me believe this season. I went to war for you lot on TalkSport, and you lot gave me a lot of love. And the love I get in the streets and the love I get on YouTube, if we all just fucking put some effort in and smash these likes, and it's now time to kick this YouTube algorithm door down. Been too nice. Can't do it without you. So anyone that's ever hit the like button or subscribed or push that, do that. If you're listening to this motivational thing and not doing it, you're a silly sausage. Real niggas only. Hey. Remember yourself, brother. I'm sorry. Forgot where I was for a hot sec. Big up everyone. So yeah. Bro, you need money in this world, I'm not gonna lie. But even like yesterday, I got a video that's around Gabriel Bonglaho, and I don't mind comments. But then someone was like, Gabriel Bonglaho's got more money than you did. Great. Like, he was a professional footballer. He of course you did. But what does that mean? What does that mean? I'd love to have the money, yeah, but what does that mean? You're not better than man. I'm not better than you. I don't know about no one else. And that's probably why I have a problem at these industry events and stuff. I don't care who you are in a respectful way. You could be a fucking nitty, or you could be Elon Musk, trillionaire, bro. I'm gonna treat everybody the same. Like, I'm not better than you, you're not better than me. I don't care what you can buy and what you can do and what, like, bro, at the end of the day, whether you die and your casket's fucking made of gold, bro, we all gotta die. Like, we're all gonna be fucking compost, and then we've all got to answer. If you don't believe in God, big up you lot, innit? Me, I believe in God. We all got to answer to the Lord, We all got to answer one day. So let's say that. 1 billion spent with a PL Chelsea project. I can't hear it from Chelsea. The way you pronounce a Bonglaho is funny. Gabby a Bonglaho. People keep saying that, but why is it funny, fam? A Bonglaho. By all means, pronunciation, I butcher it all the time, but this is how Granit Xhaka feels. I'm just getting a yellow card and red card for no reason now, really. Like, a Bonglaho. Big up yourself, Gooner Fan TV. Appreciate you. Hey, Chair, we don't use the words. We do. Oh, you're one of them. No, I don't use that word because it's degrading, and I hear it. But come on, nobody should use that word. Chair, you see what you're doing? You need to get more media trained, man. You're embarrassing everyone. You're not embarrassing anyone. You're still my guy. Fuck what bro done. That's my guy. I'm the same ethnic group as where the name is from. Oh, you're Nigerian Chelsea fan. John Obi Mikel's cousin. Bonglaho. Gabby Bonglaho. Listen. Gabby, innit? Trossard's definitely a cult hero, man. Do you think we only signed one of Rogers Bacola now? Yeah, I would say this you and a Morgan Rogers, or this you and a Bacola, but I'm not going to cap their scope for all three.
Only concern is Saka's always overplayed and hurt a lot recently. Rotation will help. Saka just needs a clean run, bro. You need your body to just, because even me, I do think, oh, hurrah, has Saka lost his explosiveness? And on one hand, I kind of do. Maybe you have to evolve your game, but then on the other hand, you're seeing that he's been playing through the pain barrier the last 2 years. You're seeing what Tuchel's saying. Maybe I don't listen. I'm not a physio in it, but if you get a clean run where you're not feeling that pain and you're not operating at 75, 80%, naturally your body heals. You start to feel your body's better. Naturally, subconsciously, you're feeling better. Saka's back to business. We've all played football. We all have played sport. You know when you're carrying an injury. Like I've told you when I had a fractured ankle. When I came back, I was nervous playing fullback. I'm getting the ball and I'm second guessing everything in it. So, and then obviously when that healed and you get through that mental barrier, because the physical wounds heal, the mental ones, when you get through that, you're a different animal. So if I'm looking at me as a fucking Sunday League footballer, like what the hell if someone's playing in the Prem and the World Cup and the Champions League and at the highest echelons of football, innit? I've got the receipts. You lot messed up making us win the league. You made us the monsters we are. Trust me. Certain man said Rice made a mistake and wouldn't win the trophy. I'm happy, man. Like, if I'm honest, my hot take, Arteta might do Odegaard how Arteta was done at Arsenal, if that makes sense. You know, when you're the captain, you're not really on the pitch like that. I think that might have to be the fit. That might be the thing. And I love Odegaard, yeah, but he needs to. You need a big season, man. I'm never gonna snake Saka. Saka, I need a big season next year. Odegaard, I need a big season. I would love. When I say big season, I would love 2022, 23. I just need you to shut people up now, because at the end of the day, everyone's position is up for grabs. Time waits for no man. We're always evolving, and I do think at some point Arteta is gonna have to have a decision to make over Odegaard and Kai. That could be selling them. That could be, removing the system away from them. Because as I said, when you talk about the pressing and all of that, you don't have to like these players. You don't have to be convinced by these players. But if you're generally looking at Arsenal, they understand the system. They play under Mikel Arteta. They're key players. He fucks with them. Do you get where I'm going? And at some point, Berta might like them. Arteta might like them. But Arteta, you've shown me ruthlessness before. At some point, Berta might say, hey, listen, we're evolving. Assuming we bring in Morgan Rogers and all the things we're doing on top of all the good things next year, if this is happening, he might say, listen, one of them has to go, There's a year, 2 year left on their deals. They're on big money. Rogers is evolving. Eze's there. I'm trying to positively project this, even though I think we're going to sell him. Wanyeri's chomping at the bit. I don't think Dalman is ready to occupy that role, but Dalman, we're linked with Nico Paz. So that tells me we're open to him, kind of creative kind of man again. So yeah, there's decisions, man. You're gonna have to scroll back, Karma, man. Long story short, he's Greek. He was at Norwich. He's been on loan in Holland in Twente in his career. He's been at Dusseldorf. He's made a name for himself at Club Brugge. He actually played against us as well. Yeah, man. DG, why do people keep referring to our players' targets as subs, backups, etc.? My managers changed the narratives, their finishes and players for different scenarios and games, because people don't want to hear that, my boy. Facts, had shin splints for 2 months, kept me out of the team for the loss, and it mentally scarred me from training properly, which kept me out of the squad until semi-final. So you get it. So if us as common men and women have these examples, yeah, what the hell with professionals? And in more time, it's the injuries you don't know about. You much guys are probably carrying knocks you do not know about. Because I always think that sometimes players are just in shit form because of shit form, but certain people might have knocks. Certain people might be going through things off the pitch. You get where I'm going? I remember when I mashed up my ankle, I healed in weeks. It took 3 months to trust my body again. Exactly. Ollie, appreciate you. Get the likes up to 200. Gabby got bodied. Roll with the punches, but don't be scared to pull out them receipts. I don't care like that, but real talk, chair needs media training. Big up yourself, man. Not going to lie, Arteta has grown on, man. Guy's a legend. Just got to go again. Prove haters wrong. I've always been an Arteta fan, but prior to this season, I did say it was getting to the point with me where Arteta, I like you, but we might have to try something new, because you might be the guy that's just got us to that point and not over the line, because it was looking like that. You're giving me some great nights out. You're showing me great things tactically, but it was crucial we won the Premier. It was crucial we won major honours this year. I even think, of course, I would have been gassed about the champs, but I do think it would have been, and I'm not saying this as copium, I wanted the Champions League, innit? But if there's a reality where what was projected in April, City are purring, Arsenal are crumbling. If that happened and we won the Champions League, we'd be happy, we'd be gassed, be excited. But I think there'd be more concerns, because You do need to show more consistency to win the Premier League. It's 38 games. You don't necessarily have to be the best team in the Champions League. I believe that, and I don't necessarily believe that. You do need a lot of things to go through. So, yeah, man, it's a learning curve still, man. Pressures on the shoulders to a certain extent. So let the football do the talking now. Express yourselves and shut them haters up. And I like the fact that we've got that first Prem over the line. It's not to say we're always going to win it, or there's not going to be moments where we don't bottle it or do bottle it, but we've been carrying anxiety for 4 years under the current regime, 22 years removed. We needed that first one as a club, because there must have been a degree of internally at Arsenal with Mikel Arteta, with these players of, oh shit, like we're never going to get over the line. There's anxiety. Obviously, the fans now, when we have moments, I'm not saying I want this because it can't happen again. When we are 2 goals up against Wolves, or the Bournemouth result, or we're looking a bit shaky and City are getting into a great run of form, maybe when these things happen now, calm down, because we don't know how it's going to work out, but we've been here before. Like we needed that first one off the back, or whatever the saying is, innit? Not gonna lie, I genuinely worried for the players if they didn't win the Prem. Yeah, man, I don't know where we turn. I still think they would have kept the manager in that. And as we know, time's a healer. You have to go again, yada yada yada. But you would not know where to turn, bro. Like, it's cruel. So I needed them to get that over the line, get a major honor over the line. And at the end of the day, you done well. You know, like every team, whether it's feasible or not, you want to win everything. You got to 2 finals. You won the Prem, FA Cup. I'm not going to lie. I'm still on you players and Arteta, because since we've won that, we've been fucking about. And us and United have won that the most. That's Arsenal's trophy. I think we could have won a bit more. So, yeah, man. Domestic double for me next season. I think we retain the Prem, or I hope we do. If I look stupid, I look stupid. And I think we win the FA Cup. You lot know me, innit? I go into every season saying we're going to win the FA Cup. Champs, play it by ear, see how far you get, try to get to a final. League Cup, no one really cares, innit? But if you get to the final, you want to win in it. So, yeah. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, people. So, yeah, man. On that note, though, let me let you lot enjoy your Saturday. There's no point waffling with you lot. I'm sure you lot are bored now. We've been here for an hour and close to 40 minutes. I'll be back at some point around 11 p.m. because we're going to watch Arsenal versus Arsenal. I'm excited. We're going to watch Brazil versus Morocco, people. So, yeah, watch-alongs. I will cut up certain segments of the stream and bring out vids. I'm sure you haven't seen the vids already today. But yeah, for now, I'm going to go get some breakfast, head to the gym, and I'll see you lot later, man. On that note, thank you for being here. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.